Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC, where we sit down discussing various movies, superhero TV shows, superhero drama, Twitter, anything that's going on in the world in a podcast-style format. Me and three other hosts sit here and discuss various things, and My Hero Academia just released a new movie, which I don't think is that new. I think it's just like brought over from Japan, but either way, it hit theaters, and Dan and I were fortunate enough to go to the theater and see it.
Yes,
like, it was a whole ordeal to go there during the pandemic, but we did it. We went to go see the movie. And we wanted to talk about it because My Hero Academia is superhero-powered teenagers in a school fighting things.
Yeah, it's manga X-Men.
Yes, so I'll give you a quick rundown of the plot in case you didn't see it and you're curious before we go into talking about it. But we're in the middle of their hero internships, and in the middle of the internships, an organization rises that decides it needs to get rid of all the quirk individuals out there. It's going to eradicate them all, and our heroes are separated across the globe trying to figure it out. The story primarily focuses on Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku. That's like the plot itself. And basically, Deku gets framed for murder? I think it was murder.
Yep, he gets framed for mass murder. They're like, he killed 12 people.
Right.
And everyone's like,
and he's on the run with another individual, and they have the evidence that will stop the organization from eradicating all the superpowered individuals in the world.
They do, but they don't know it. So they're just running with this briefcase that they have no idea what's going on with it. The whole time.
Which gives you like a bit of intrigue because you're like, well, what's going to happen? Obviously, they're going to stop the guy, but how are we getting to that point?
Yeah.
So, and then basically, long story short, Todoroki and Bakugo find them. They all team up. They go use the briefcase to get to the final location. Everyone gets their own big fight sequence. So, you get a Bakugo, you get a Todoroki, and you get a Deku fight, which was awesome. I loved that finale kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And the movie resolves. So, let's talk about it.
Yes, so my first thing that I will say, the new costumes that they use at the very beginning of the movie.
That is in every trailer.
I know.
Every trailer.
Everything that you see, every poster, all of that stuff. They looked awesome, but they only used them once, and I wish they had used them more than once because they looked so awesome.
They didn't even really fight in them. It was like they showed up.
They jumped out. They jumped out of a plane in these new suits, and you're like, those are so cool.
And then they're like, there's nothing to fight there, though. They just show up. Like, we're here.
Yeah. So that was one thing in and of itself, but that's such a small aspect of the movie that it's not a big deal. Overall, I thought the movie was really fun. I thought it was really good. I felt like there were some things in it, though, that I was definitely confused about, and I think all of us were, because this movie clearly came out. I don't know if the anime hasn't caught up, if I simply haven't caught up. Or
I
anything
haven't
like
seen
that.
season 5, and apparently, but
the new power.
Yeah, well, so one of the guys at our team reads the manga, and I'm catching up on the anime so I can catch up on the manga. But one of the big things in here, he's right. He's got a Spider-Man power. He calls it black leash or black something. It's like
something like that. I think it was black leash.
He throws it out and he swings with it. But according to Kevin, our resident manga guy, that power is like it'll be around very short amount of time, and then he gets other powers. I don't want to spoil it, Lazar, in case you're like, no, don't go far.
Right.
The new power was interesting because he basically has a new traversal, which at the point I'm in the anime, he just, all mights out and goes, wah, runs across the world. Like,
it caught me off guard because of how different from the All for One that I've been seeing. Or One for All that I've been seeing. But it makes sense because when you really think about it, he never had anything ranged. He never had like anything huge on ranged, and his mobility was just running fast and jumping and stuff. And I felt like giving him web slinging powers just it added so much to it and made those chase sequences more fun. There was just so much more that it made a lot more fun and enjoyable to watch. And it took me a second because I was like, that seems very out of character, but I'm sure it's probably related to one of the people that had the power long ago. But
I did like the new power. I don't think he used it a lot in this. Like, it was cool to see it for someone.
What are you talking about?
He used it for that whole first sequence where he's running through the city.
Yeah.
But then like the black leash just vanished. Like we weren't using it much.
He uses it a lot less after, and then he
Yeah.
goes a lot more into just the one for all stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. But you do get a cool sequence where he's chasing down. Oh, what was that guy's name? The other characters with the whole time.
Yeah,
I want to say it started with an R.
it did start with an R. I want to say Rudy.
Rudy. I think it was Rudy. I'm going to look it up real fast so that people don't yell at us.
Yeah. Turns out it's John.
It's Justice for All, right? That's the name of the game, or is that the video game? That's the video game.
No, it was World Heroes.
World Heroes. Thank you. There's so many like spin-offs. You know there's 2 Justice for All games now? I was looking at it last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So anyway, that character's name, it's Rudy. It's just spelled R-O-D-Y. Rudy Soul.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
Rudy Soul. That's right.
So they go on this adventure. He teams up with Rudy Soul, discovers that Rudy didn't actually steal the jewels that he was trying to defend against. And then we go into this whole plot where they're running around. I did find the middle a little slow.
Yes.
That's my biggest kind of complaint with this, because I'm going into a My Hero. What I love about the TV show is we do have those soft moments. We do have those moments to decompress. We do get to know the characters, but they really stretch out the combat. But I feel like they were trying really hard for the sake of the movie to make us care, like really care about Rudy. Like we really needed to care about Rudy. Like we didn't go into Deku, we didn't go into Bakugo, we didn't go into Todoroki. We needed to know about Rudy. And I think that is what bothered me about the movie, because Rudy's design to me felt like Lupin the Third. It didn't feel like a My Hero character.
Yeah. He did feel pretty out of place. I will say, though, in their defense, it did make sense, because all of the My Hero characters that we know of, or at least that I know of, they're Japanese-based. And he was a European-based character. So it did make sense for him.
I thought he was U.S. No, he's U.S., I thought.
No, he's Europe. They're in Europe right now, I'm pretty sure.
I thought they were in San Francisco, or the equivalent of San Francisco. That's what I thought.
Were they?
That's what I thought, because they kept showing the
they-
bridge, because he's living under the bridge. I took that as being the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, I assumed it was somewhere in Europe, because they kept saying we need to go to the neighboring country of Kraid.
I'm looking to see if they say, because I know it's all made up country, so it really doesn't matter.
And yeah, and plus there are teams that go to every single country. Either way, but I mean, regardless of if it's Europe or if it's the United States, it's still a different culture, different location than anything that we've seen, really. So it did feel okay for it to be mostly different with him there. It did feel a little out of place. It did feel a little slow there towards the middle, but I will say, if you're planning on watching this movie, when you start seeing them travel across country with the car, you can go to the bathroom. That is the intermission, because they don't say anything. Nothing's really happens.
Yeah.
It's just music and like a little montage of them traveling in this truck. It's perfect pee break time. So if you are planning on seeing it, that is the time to go.
I'm going to let you know, because we were questioning about this. The location they're in is called Otheon.
Yes.
And there is an actual theory as to where it's located. So it's everyone is confused. It looks like what would that be? Here, I'm going to link it to you, because you know more about European countries better than I do.
Okay.
You're getting to watch live as our brains turn. It's like it's left of France. It's below Europe. It's like
It's like right above Spain.
Okay, that's
It's
the
right
theory.
above
That's where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's or at least the one that's on that. The one that's on the image that you sent me, you should send it to Dylan so that he's got it as well. The one that they're pointing to for Otheon is one of like the key places, but I believe they are in one of the countries near it on that coast, because they are within range. They're within range to make it there, but they definitely are in Europe because they cross a country border. And I also found it kind of funny that there's only like one location in the States.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually kind of funny.
Here's the funny part for those who are watching this. It's not even San Francisco area.
No. It's funny. It's funny how much of My Hero Academia makes up of existing locations as fake locations, but then we've also got Detroit Smash.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, there's not that much to really talk about the movie itself because we had great action in the beginning. We had basically a buffer in the middle with getting to know Rudy more and them trying to figure out what's going on. We got to see Bakugo and Todoroki using some more investigative skills, which I really enjoyed seeing.
Yep. I will say I loved the Bakugo fight. I felt like Todoroki got gypped.
Yeah, he didn't do much. He got thrown into the water and just pushed. But I was thinking about this because I've been watching all of the seasons right now. Every morning I watch 1 to 2 episodes as I work out, right? Of all the shows I got to get big like Deku.
Well, of course. I mean, nothing makes you more powerful in the gym than a power-up sequence in an anime.
Right, but what I've noticed watching the anime is Bakugo doesn't get to show off too much. Like he gets to show
doesn't
up,
get
blow
show
up
off
things.
in terms of him doing things. He gets to show off in the term of him getting the crap beating out of him.
Right. Well, what I liked about this movie was it was just Bakugo versus those twins.
Yes.
For like 20 minutes. And you got to see his actual fighting style, not being interrupted, not having a problem. And that's what I think was the strength of this movie.
Well, not even that, but also him not succeeding.
Yeah.
But showing how he overcomes it because he overcomes it in such a different way from like Deku, where he's like, no, I have to be passionate. I have to do this. Right. Everyone's counting on me. And Bakugo's just like, how dare you do such a thing?
Exactly.
And stop telling me what to do.
And that for me was one of the highlights of the movie. Getting to see, because Todoroki kind of got gypped, but we see a lot of Todoroki in the show. Todoroki's the go-to guy for battle sequences, I've noticed. Him and Deku.
I think...
And Bakugo always gets left out. Like
he does. And I think a lot of the Todoroki stuff, now that I'm like really thinking about it and all of the different scenes, he got most of his powers shown off during other scenes. Not the big fight, but like we're saving people down a mountain so that they don't fall and they slide on the ice. So he did get those moments. But yeah, the Bakugo fight was just, it was top notch. The animation, everything about it just made you really, really invested. And I don't know about you, I wasn't sure if this was going to be one of those movies where it truly has a series altering event, like potentially a character dying or something.
I didn't think so because I had never heard of this until we saw it coming out. And that's my reasoning behind that. My assumption was like, okay, there's no way this is going to be important.
Right.
Because like I've never heard of this thing.
That's fair.
So the two other things I want to comment on real quick. I did not like the
I think I know
the Deku fight. Because he's fighting a guy that can reflect everything, and his answer is to keep hitting the guy, like, and then getting thrown into a wall. And I was just kind of like,
when that fight started, it made me just think about how often this happens, where it's, oh man, that character can reflect anything, or they absorb all the powers. Yeah. What should we do? Let's overload it, because we hope that works.
And that's all it was. And then he goes plus ultra, and they give him like the hairstyle, like he's Dragon Ball Zing it up over here. I was just like, oh, okay.
I felt like that fight.
For me that fight. The problem with it was there was no real stakes.
No.
You're like, he won't beat this guy. And so obviously one of two things is going to happen. He's going to overload the reflection, or Rudy's going to do something. Those were the two, like the fight had no real stakes.
It was too predictable. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Bakugo fight was the one to watch. That was amazing.
That one, it was super good. The other thing I thought you were going to say for the complaint was there are a couple scenes where they try and do this like 360 look at all the different angles of the fight, and while I understand what you're trying to do, it was very confusing and disorienting as an audience member.
It was, and sometimes they would have like the effects coming off of Deku matched the effects of another guy, so you just have colors swirling, and you're like, I don't even know who's hitting who now. Like, at least with Bakugo, it was explosions versus chains. So when they did the 360 swirl, I did see like a degrade in the animation, but at least I knew what was happening in the animation.
Yeah.
So
They definitely did that on one spot as well, where like a big kind of chase fight sequence starts, and immediately that goes from great graphics, great graphics. Okay, we're going to go in the very simply drawn so that we can go through this fight super fast, which I'm not complaining. I actually sometimes really enjoy that style when it does get in the fight and like a lot of those background details go away so that the fight's so fast paced and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was very jarring at first. Like, oh my gosh.
It was. And that was my big complaint about it. It got jarring. It took me out of the fight a little bit sometimes. And it was, but other than that, and then the kind of like predictable fight with Deku, the movie was enjoyable.
It really was, yeah.
I was, the middle with Rudy was meh, it was okay, but it wasn't terrible. Discovering his plot and the big reveal, that was kind of fun.
I was a little annoyed with the fact that they had the scene where he's like, "What's your quirk, Rudy?" Skip it. Okay. Oh, wait, what's his quirk? 20 minutes later. Let me flashback to, this is my quirk, but I'm not going to say it. We're going to skip. And it's like, just tell me his bloody quirk.
Yeah. I will say I was a little annoyed, and this is a bit of a spoiler about Rudy, so if you have not cared up to this point, I was a little annoyed at the animation for the stupid bird with the bandana. Like, why am I supposed to care about a bandit bird? But when they revealed it's his quirk, I'm like, okay. That explains why this bird looks so weird.
Yes.
But it added to the Lupin third, like, it doesn't fit with My Hero. It does.
Yeah.
I feel like you were trying to tell this story, and you found a way to put it into a My Hero movie.
I actually, based on the art of the bird, I had a strong feeling it was related to his quirk because it reminded me.
I thought so too, but he was so against
me,
quirks. I'm like, maybe they just decided to draw a goofy looking bird. Like,
like he saved it when it was a small.
Yeah, and put a bandana on it. Like we were gonna see
Right.
some scene where he saved this bird, and the bird has a quirk or something like that. Like that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, it reminded me of I can't think of like any of the specific characters, but like those superhero characters where they draw and then their drawing comes to life and is all of a sudden like a creature and that's their power.
Yeah.
That's kind of when I first saw that bird, I was like, something's with this bird. Like that, it's not just a bird. There's no way that this.
I'm
is
not
going
to reveal what the bird actually does, but I will say one thing I did like because we never really explore the people that have quirks that aren't useful.
Yes.
And I liked that at the ending when we finally found out about Rudy's quirk and what it actually does. It didn't turn out to be like, oh, he can blow himself up once and watch him die this one time. Like,
Right.
Like it wasn't something that was just a MacGuffin quirk where he's gonna beat everything. It still took Deku to win.
Either that or I was kind of worried they were going to do one of those things where it's like, hey, he doesn't have a quirk, but when it's time, turns out it's this super powerful thing when he uses it in this. Like, I'm glad that it was not like that because we had enough overpowered characters with Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki going through, as well as the villains that they were fighting. Like, what the hell? But
I want more Bow Girl, though. That's all I'm going to say at the ending of this. I want more Bow Girl. The
yes, she was awesome. I thought she would be a great character to have like she gets turned to the good side. Like she seems like one of those characters, especially with the way that they drew her, that like maybe she's got something going on. Her family's held captive and like she wants to be here. I don't know. But anyway, overall, I would say it's a great movie. Probably, I would say like an 8 out of 10. I would give it.
Yeah, I'd give it. I'd go 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
just because with a My Hero Academia, I'm expecting more of a plot about the My Hero crew, and it was
That's
more
fair.
like it was more like they were there for Rudy's story.
They were supporting cast.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I thought it was great, and we still got some great fight sequences. But I was expecting more My Hero and less Rudy.
Yeah, that, and I kind of do wish they explored a little more of the like Deku being in a different country. Because when they did explore those things where he's like, well, this isn't your country, you're not licensed to be a hero here, or like the different cultural, like there were just a lot of differences that I thought could have been explored maybe just a little bit more, because it's cool seeing that. These are kids. They are in their internship. They don't fully understand how different it is when you go to different countries and stuff. So I like that. I thought
they
could
lightly
have
touched on
explored a little
that,
more.
like when they all had to go back to the hotel and things like that. But you're right. It would have been more fun to see that more explored.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right, well, we are absolutely Marvel and DC. If you want to see us talking about superhero-themed TV shows, movies, rumors, Twitter drama, whatever's going on, subscribe to the channel to get your podcast format right here at our channel. I'm Benny, that is Dan, and we'll be back very soon. You guys have a great day.
See you guys.